Good evening, all. A bit late today. Okay, so today's topic is about servlet collaboration, or we can also call it as in servlet intercommunication. Okay, so we are going to learn how request can be passed from one servlet to another servlet or any other resources. Okay, right. So this servlet collaboration will be achieved with the help of request dispatcher interface. Okay, it's an interface. Okay, so basically what is the need of this request dispatcher in case if we wants to redirect or if we wants to dispatch a request to the another resource. Okay, request from one resource to another resource, we can use this request dispatcher. And this request dispatcher interface, basically it provides two methods. So one is forward method and the other one is include method. So what is the need of forward method? So forward method basically which is used for forwarding a request from one resource to another resource. And about include, if we want to include the content of another resource in the same page, in an existing page, we can use this include method. Hope it's clear about request dispatcher. So servlet intercommunication or collaboration is done with the help of request dispatcher interface. Okay, it provides two methods, forward and include. Forward method is used for dispatching request to one source to another source. And if it is an include, so basically it's used for including the content of another resource in the existing page or existing resource. Okay, that's the difference between forward and include. So now we'll see one hands-on execution. Let's go to JDBC, the one which we have created in the beginning. So in this workspace itself, I'll continue with the Servlet collaboration, Servlet as well. Right, so let me close all these editor files, and now it's for the dynamic web page, and I'm taking it as a request dispatcher. Request activity. Okay, so yes, it's created, and now let's go to we'll see two activities. So the first one, as usual, we are familiar with the login page, right? So I'll take that login page for easiest, understandable purpose, and then I'll take one more activity that is for, yes, that is for request dispatcher itself, but separately one for forward and the other one is for include. And now let me create one login file. HTML page. So let me take login page. Okay, so here contact action I'm not defined yet. So let's take method as well. So basically get or post anything is fine depending on the method which we used in our servlet. Okay, so now inside this form tag, let's take username same login page, we can use. Okay. Username. So input type equals to text, and name equals to your name. Okay, so break tag. Fine. So next is password. Okay, so now again, input tag, input type equals to button. It's not button, sorry, password it is. Okay, and name equals to ASW. Right, again break. And now input. So type equals to submit. Value equals to so form tag is done. And now let's move to creating Servlet. Okay. Creating Servlet. Let's create one package first in the SRC folder. Why it's not selected? Servlet dot RD, request to dispatcher. I'm taking this an RD. Okay. And now, so let's take Servlet. So login Servlet. Okay, so let's finish it off with the login Servlet. Yes, it's created by selecting both the methods. So, but now I'll take only get method. So actually, I have to include that MySQL, sorry, Servlet jar. So here in the library, we have to select add external jars, and here's Servlet, and let's click on OK. Right, so you people can observe the existing errors are gone, right? And now, so let's go to I'll remove post method, even if it's present also not an issue, but still I'll remove. Right, now get inside this, do get method, and now observe what we have to pass. So as usual, we have to set the content type for the request object. Okay, not request, sorry, it's for the response. So response dot set content type, and the content type basically it is with text / HTML. Right, and right, so then I have to create an object for print writer class. So print writer out equals to response dot get writer. Okay, and now I'm trying to request. Okay, so string user name equals to request dot get parameter, and the parameter name is this name, you name it is. Okay, so here let me copy paste that same, and string password equals to again request dot get parameter, and for the parameter this is the SW, right? And now I'm taking if condition. So if username and password, so you can take both, or you can take any single attribute for validation. Okay, so I'm taking username dot equals, one second. This one, so it's with the equals method. It's not equals. I'm passing it. ExcelR. Okay. So even we can use the AND condition by even for the password. Okay, like ExcelR 1, 2, 3. And now, so after that, when the username is equals to ExcelR, now I'm trying to redirect. So let me print first instead of printing. It's okay. So out dot print. So that's the confirmation. Even I can, instead of writing this to the browser, you can write it to the console. Okay. Right. So forwarding request to other servlet. Not for any other resources. Actually, we can redirect. We can forward request to any other resources like HTML or for JSP. But I'm trying to show you here. It's only for the servlet. Okay, so I'm taking here request dispatcher, and its object equals to request dot get request dispatcher, and here we have to pass the servlet or another resource. Okay, any resource which you wanted to redirect, remember. Okay, any other resource. Assume that I wanted to I want to redirect it to the welcome page, as simple. Okay, welcome. Okay, right. So it's after using this solid name, I mean request dispatcher interface, by calling its get request dispatcher. Okay, we have to call the method. Okay, so method of request dispatcher. So we must use the object, I mean the reference. So rd dot forward. So inside this forward method, we must pass the request and response objects. Here we have in this method now, so we must pass these objects in place of this arg0 and arg1. So it's with request, and the second one is response. Okay, right. So now it is done, and let's go to else part. Well, let's take else. Okay, so in this else, again call that request dispatcher, and rd equals to request dot not request dot, sorry, I am using here request dispatcher. It's actually wrong. So request dot get request dispatcher, and here we can include the content which you wanted to display. So where I want to display error message, that is login page.html, login page.html. Okay, and yes, so for including the message, request dispatcher object dot pass request and response. Fine. And what message needs to be passed here? So it should be displayed to the browser, no? So here I'm taking it as a p dot print. It's a p or out? It's out. I mean, this is an object of print writer class, right? So dot print, and inside this, fine, enter valid name. Okay, so we can display anything like input details or not match or anything which we want to display. Yes, we can do that. Okay, so let's go to our let me take this message as h2 style equals to style equals to color colon red. Okay, I'm displaying in red color. Valid username. Fine. And we have to close this h2 now. h2. Okay. So now let's go to create another servlet. So that is welcome servlet. This is servlet, right? Okay, so now this is welcome servlet. And now I'm removing this, annotations, part. So let's go ahead here. And here in this, again, I'm removing these overriding parts. Right. So now what needs to be passed here? So you can mention here that content type and request dispatcher print writer. So I'm copy and pasting here along with the username. So and what I'm trying to write here. So out dot print. Here in the print, just displaying welcome message. Welcome to with the username plus username. So here, let me write something with the heading part. Let's go to here. Okay, so let me pass h2 with, okay, that's fine. Okay. So actually, I just added one header part. It's not header part. So inside body, I included, login page name as an ExcelR login page with the username and password. Okay. And now let's go to this welcome page and guess everything is fine. Right. And now we have to configure this web.xml for both the servlets. Okay. Which servlet is that login page? HTML it is now. So I'll remove all the files, okay, except one because I wanted to add, login page here. Login page, fine, and right. So now let's get into this. So I'm passing servlet configuration, servlet, and here servlet name, which is that servlet name. First one is login servlet. Okay, and then it is servlet class. And in the servlet class, so what is the package name? That is a com dot servlet dot servlet dot, what is that? RD, request dispatcher dot, and the class name. So what is the class name? That is, so I passed here as, login servlet as, URL pattern. So the first servlet is done. Now it's for the second servlet. I'm writing here with the comments. So what is that comment here? Servlet configuration for login servlet. I'm just copying and pasting here. Okay. So here, which servlet is this? Welcome servlet. Welcome servlet. Again, we have to, change here as well. Here, let me pass, the name as welcome. That's fine. Okay. We can pass welcome servlet or welcome. Anything is fine for the URL pattern. So now, let's go to this login page, not login page, login page HTML. So here we have an action. So for this action, we have to pass this login servlet URL pattern. So let's go here. Here it is. So copy this and let me paste here inside action. Okay. And now let's go to that login servlet and let's see. Yes, it's welcome. Okay. So I'm not passed to the servlet name. I just passed to this URL pattern. Okay. Right. So now we'll try to deploy this. So now let's go to login page. Right, run as run on server. Okay, so now username. Let's say some with the duplicate values. So it's actually displaying it as an enter valid username because I entered the wrong one because in the validation. So I mentioned it as an ExcelR, right? So I should enter same username. Let's go to right. So I'll copy and even for password I'll try to give that. And what it says, welcome to ExcelR. So along with the username. Okay. So basically we had to validate the password, but I had given the ExcelR as a username. So let me take this password. I changed this validation for password instead of username. So now let's go to this login page again. So again, redeploying. So every time server gets restarted. Okay, so now let me try with any other name. Let's see. So let me take the name as and the password should be so it displays welcome to ExcelR. So with the username. So how this communication is happening means resource redirection is happening. So when I click on login page, login button, not page, of course. So when I click on login button, the control will be redirected to the login servlet. So this is the URL pattern. Okay. And now it will, the control goes to web.xml and it searches for the login servlet URL pattern. So if it finds, so immediately it checks the name of the servlet. Okay. And then it goes to search your, servlet name. So if the servlet name and servlet mapping servlet name is, if both are same, then it reaches to the package, particular package. And now our package is, com.servlet.rd.login servlet. So it finds a package and gets into the right. So this servlet class. And now what happens, so we are, as usual, we are getting, we are setting the response type and also we are trying, instantiated print writer object, because with the help of this object only, we are trying to print data to the browser, right? And then we are accepting, we are requesting parameters from the user. Okay, whatever the data we enter, username and password, those values we are getting and we are assigning to a string variables. So that's username and password. And here I'm validating with a password. So if password which is equals to ExcelR, then it goes to control gets into the browser. And here in the browser, actually it is not printing because the control is not in same page. So immediately it's redirecting to the another page now. So it is not printing this existing login servlet, right? So why it is needed? I commented this line. So next, immediately we are calling, request dispatcher. So this interface, it's dispatching the request, from this login page to welcome page. So what is this welcome again? So let me enter, comment here. Welcome is, is the URL pattern for the welcome Servlet. Okay, which is defined in deployment descriptor. So that is web.xml. Okay, and now right. So yes, it's forwarding, it's dispatching its request to this welcome page, and again it it goes to web.xml. It gets searches, whether that welcome URL pattern is present or not. Okay, and again now, so it checks the servlet name and with the servlet, mapping, and it finds, the package name along with the class, and then yes, it gets into that respective class, and it performs a task which is defined inside this method. Hope it's clear how the request is dispatching from one page or one resource to another resource. So basically here, it's not another resource, is not any specific, any other technology. So here it is with the Servlet, same, resource only. Hope it is clear. Any questions on this? Please respond if any questions. Okay, so not getting any response. Just a minute. And then, so let's take one more activity on the same request dispatcher, where we take interest rate depending on the age. Before moving to that, one more activity for this request dispatchers. So let me discuss one more topic. It's not topic, it's just a method. Okay. So we have a method called send redirect method. Okay, send redirect method. So it's actually method of HTTP request. So what is the use of that send redirect method? Basically, it's for redirecting request from one page to another page. So as a forward method, what is the task of forward method, which is used for dispatching requests from one source to another source. So same task will be done by another method. That method is request dispatcher. It's not request dispatcher, I'm sorry. It's a send redirect method. Okay. So even that send redirect method accepts absolute or relative path. Okay, it can be absolute or relative path. Let me take one simple example. Okay, first let me define one HTML file. So I'm taking here, I'm taking it as a redirect as a HTML file name, redirect page. Okay, so just click on, fine. Now it's about form tag. Form action. So, and event can be included, method equals to get. Method equals to get, and now input type equals to input type equals to here text. Okay, and anything here, name. So name can be anything. So I'm taking it as a name itself because this text box needs to be retrieved, right? And I'm closing this. If needed, you can have break tag as well. Okay. And now let's take input type. Input type equals to submit, and value equals to value. This is for not exact path. So value I'm passing it as a search. Okay. Right. So let's go to here. Let me add one more tag that is for center. And after form, let's take. Okay, so now let's go to the Servlet. I'm taking the same package. That's fine. Here, Servlet, right? Send redirect. Redirect activity. So here in this method, we don't need to write much logic. Just you can have an hyperlink. Okay, just we can have one hyperlink. So let's go to this, all right. Do get method. And inside this do get method, let's call that name. Okay, so whatever the data which is entered by user, that name we are going to accept. So string, I'm taking it as a text. Okay, so text equals to request dot get parameter, and parameter name is I guess it's a name. Let me check. Right, so it is just a name. So I'm accepting that and passing here. And then yes, close this, and here we can pass, we can redirect that. Okay, so to where we are redirecting? For response object. Okay, response dot send send redirect. Okay, so here for the send redirect, so we can give here anything. Okay, anything where you know to which you want to redirect. Okay, so let's see here with HTTP. Yes, www dot okay, so this is the path I've given. Okay, now let's go to our page. Right, so I cannot, even if I run here, it will not redirect. I have to configure that in a web.xml. Okay, so go to this web.xml, and now define configuration for this send redirect activity class. So how do we define? That is Servlet, and inside this Servlet name. Okay, Servlet name is dot Servlet dot rd. Sorry, it's not name. I'm wrong. And redirect activity. And Servlet name, Servlet class. So this is package here, form dot Servlet dot rd dot. Okay, so now let's go to Servlet mapping. Servlet name, so and URL pattern. Okay, so URL pattern can be anything here. So let me take send redirect. So this is my URL pattern. Okay, so now copy this URL pattern and go to this, move to this login page, not login page, this one. Let me close others. Right, so now we have action. So I'll pass, in place of action as a value. Okay, and now let me, run this. Right. Okay, so now, yes, we can see here, right? So it is displaying search, text box with a button called search. And now can be given here. So actually, even if I type, any other relative path, first it will be redirected to Google, because we are passing send redirect, URL as, what is it? Yes, Google, right? So let me type something here. I'm typing here. When I click on search button, it's not redirecting. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is wrong. I guess it's with the problem. Search, send, redirect. Nothing wrong. Is my screen visible, guys? So it's actually working. It's it's taken time redirecting. Okay. So when I type it as ExcelR, it's actually redirected to the Google because I'm passing the link, absolute link, absolute path. Instead of link, I call it as an absolute path. It's clear. Okay. So we can have differences for forward and include. Forward that will work with, we can work with the server side, but if it is a send redirect, it will work with the client side. Okay. And yes, forward method will be forwarded its request to the same server, but if it is a send redirect, it redirects response to the response for same server or for any other servers. Okay. So, but basically both the methods are used for redirecting, requests from one resource to another resource. So that's the usage of this, and redirect method. Hope it is clear. Okay, so if it is clear, so we'll move one simple example. We'll move to learn one simple example how to connect with the database in Servlet. I thought of giving one more activity for this, request dispatcher. But before that, let's take one simple activity for connecting database. Servlet database activities, or we can say operations with Servlet. Okay. Let's take one more activity. Not activity, one more, let me create one more project. So that is for database. Giving reason data server connection. Okay, click on next. And let me generate deployment descriptor, and yes, click on finish. Okay, so now that is for the registration page. Okay, or else that's fine. Registration is fine. Okay, so now again, we are familiar with the form tag, right? So take form tag, form and action. So action, leave it for now. Okay, after creating Servlet, we will pass action value. So again, method equals to get. And for the registration page, right, so we need to add a few fields. So what are the fields? Basically name, password, confirm password, email, address, and a country, so etc. Right, so I'm going to pass all those things now. Yes, name, and for the name, input type and here again password. So even placeholder also you can have placeholder, enter name, okay, so then the password, let me take break. All right, so now it's the password, and now again input type equals to, here it is password, and name equals to user UPSW, so user password, and yes, placeholder is actually optional, but still, I mean, I know I'm giving enter password, and again break. Even we can have confirm password as well. Confirm password. Okay, so for confirm, confirm password, I can have same. So, but placeholder is is confirm password. Okay, break, and now it's for the email. Okay, so now input type equals to this is for email. Okay, so we have predefined one. Okay. Right, so email I have done. So now let's go to country. Country. For country, we have to have select, and here in the select, we can have optional values. Okay, so we can pass optional values. Select name. For select also we have to pass the name. Name equals to user country, and here in this we have to pass the option values. Okay, option, and here we can pass the values directly. Etc. Okay, and now we can close that option. So if required, we can pass break tag as well. Break. And at last, after passing all this, components, we must pass submit button, right? I mean, button, we have to create a button. So here it's not submit, its button name should be register. So input type equals to submit, and value equals to register. Okay. So now click on this. So form tag is done. Actually, if we take it in a table format, then look wise it will be good, but I've taken directly. Okay. Close with those. So this is for connecting database, right? Now actually we have to create table with the name register. Okay. Now let me open MySQL Workbench. So here in MySQL Workbench, let's take DB. Okay, so first I have to create a table. Now let me create table called register. Okay, I'm gonna create table on the same name. Register. Registration is fine. Okay, so now which is the first one? Which is the first value? It is name. So name should be varchar, right? So I mean character type. So take this varchar and define the size. So I'm defining size as in 150, name, and password. Once again. Okay. Password is also, that is fine. And I'm giving it as a C password. Confirm pass. Okay. After confirm password, email, address is fine. So the last one is country. Okay, now it's done. Click on write, finish. Okay, so now registration table is created. Let me check values. So we have nothing. Let's go to right. So let me create now one servlet. So one servlet in this project, I mean package SRC. Let's create, one package. Servlet dot JDBC. Okay, finish. And now let me create a servlet. Okay, so servlet is DB servlet JDBC connection. Okay, so this is my class name. Fine. So click on finish. And let me add the jar file, so the existing errors will go. And let's go to this project. Right click on this project and yes, build a path and add external jars. And here we have to select the Servlet jar. Along with the Servlet jar, we have to select this MySQL connector jar. Why? Because we are providing database connectivity now. So write MySQL connector jar also added. Okay. Right. So now click on OK. Fine. So still it shows error. 1 second. Okay, so one extra brace is added. Fine. So now okay, so now we'll try to pass this, JDBC connection, code. So what are the steps needs to be followed in case we want to connect with the database? We have to, load the driver classes, right? After loading driver classes, we have to, create object for connection interface. And if required, you can take, statement or interface, or directly you can go to prepared statement in case if you want to insert records, right? So now let's take set content tag. Now we are not doing that. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to get the parameters. For getting, do I need to write something to the response? Yes. So if yes, let's create an instance for the print writer along with the set content. Text / HTML. And now print writer. Okay, print writer p equals to out dot. It's not out, it's request. Okay, request dot get response dot get writer. Okay, so now string for a name, string name equals to what to pass here, request, request dot get parameter. So in this parameter, it should be uname, username, and string. I guess so. It should be password equals to request dot get parameter. Notice get parameter. This should be UPSW. Okay. String. Okay. String. Here. C password. I mean confirm password equals to request dot get parameter. Again, we have to pass that same U. It's not U. Let me check which one is this. Confirm password. Okay, I was in this class, so I about to take this user confirm password. It should be different. So I should take it as an user confirm password. C SW. So I'm taking the same, Okay, so and now again string email equals to request dot get. So here it is user email. Okay, the last one, it's about country. So let's take it's a user country. So I copied and I'll paste here. String country equals to request dot get parameter Okay, so now for this, these values, okay, so these values we have to store in a database. So how do we store? So we must have database connection data. I mean the steps we need to follow now. What are the steps? So now step one. So first of all, let me take try catch blocks. Try catch. So I hope you guys are aware about this. So in case we wants to handle exception, so this is the one way to handle it, right? The way by using throws clause. Okay, so inside this this type of class, right? And how do we this driver class? So by calling or by passing class dot form. So first we have to pass driver class name. So as I've installed, I'm working with MySQL, I'll be taking here com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Okay, so this is a driver class name. And now I'll take and now class.forName is done, and now we have to create a connection object. Connection and its instance, the reference equals to driver manager dot get connection. So get the 3 elements, right? Before the 3, it'll get very lengthy. So I take string variable. Okay, 1 second. Now, let me take string variable. So string URL equals to JDBC colon MySQL colon slash and double slash with the local host with a 3306 port number slash database name. So which database is that? I forgot totally. So that is DB. So it's just DB. Fine. And with semicolon and then string root equals to, it should be equals to, within double quotes we have to pass the value root and the string password equals to root. Spelling mistake. Okay, so now let's go to this method, and here I have to pass that URL, username, and yes, password. Okay, so these are the once again. Let's get into the okay. So I guess now this error is gone. Connection. So I don't know, it should not be from MySQL, it should be from SQL. Okay. So my connection object is creation of this connection is done. Now what we have to do here? So I have to either can make a statement object or prepared state. Okay. So prepared statement is in case if you wanted to int any values or if you want to modify or if you want to delete. Okay, prepared statement is a prepared statement. Fine. Okay, so now what happens here? We have to, we have to instantiate prepared statement instance, prepared statement, and it's the, object equals to connection object dot prepared statement. Here we have to pass this for insertion, right? So I'm trying to insert because I just created table. Right. So insert into which table it is? Register. Registration. Registration. Values. Your values, how many values? Let me count. 5 values. Okay, 5 values. Right. And what is this? Right. So to set the values, right? So we are not, this is not about hard coding. This is getting value from the user, and we are inserting those values to user, right? I mean database. So what happens? What we have to do now? Prepared statement object that is ps dot ps dot add. It's not add set string because all methods are all parameters or column names are strings only, right? So taking set string method, and for the index, 1, and for this one I'm taking it as a, yes, it's the name, this one, this parameter. Okay, so we have to pass here, and then again ps dot set string Okay, set string, index is 2, and now this is the password. Okay, again, prepare statement dot set string. Okay, 3 comma. This is confirm password, so it is C password. And again, set string, set which variable is that? I mean, index is 4 and value is email. See, these arguments, string, email, string, password, and name. These are the attributes I'm passing. And the last one, ps dot set string, index is 5, value is country. Okay, at setting or the values are done. The method set string, and at last I'm taking int I is equals to prepared statement dot execute and update. So execute this query and update the table. Okay, and if you wanted to print this to the console, or if you want to know the records, how many records it's inserted, so you can print this. So I can print to console or into the browser. Records inserted. Okay, so plus it is I. Hope this this logic is clear. The code which I written here. So now let's go to deploy this and check whether data successfully inserts, successfully saved to the table or not with a given database information or DB data. Okay, so let's go to registration page. Okay, one more thing is left out. What is that? Yes, modify saved changes. What is the left out concept? So I'll show you the execution. Now you please confirm. There is no proper structure here. So it's actually not redirecting to anywhere. Why? Because we have not provided any configuration for this Servlet DB JDBC connection class, right? So go to web.xml. Actually, if you take it in a table format, then it will be more clear actually. But I have not taken. Okay, so for country is not needed, I guess. But still. Okay, so now let's go to this, web.xml. So in this web.xml, say it's empty. So we have to provide this configuration, that is servlet. And here is servlet name. Right, so what is the servlet name? That is a servlet JDBC connection Let's go to this class. And servlet, class it is. Okay, so now form dot servlet dot jdbc. And now again servlet mapping. Okay, so in servlet mapping, what we have to pass? Servlet name. So again we have to pass it same. And now URL pattern. So URL pattern is slash. Let me give it as a connection or register. Anything is fine. Okay, so I'll take this and I'll copy this and I'll go to this HTML registration page and I'll put it here in place of action value. Method is get method only now. Right. So now everything is perfect. And now let's go to redeploy this. Let me check for saving. Yes, it is saved. So now again right click on this editor, HTML page, and yes, run as server, and yes. Enter the name. So let me take, and password triple X. So here actually values is let me check the console. Okay, console is not printed anything with no errors as well, right? Let's see, let me check from this. It's not inserted, which means there should be something missed. See you don't know what exactly the problem is about. So it's actually, redirecting to this page, Servlet DB connection page, but here, stop. What is happening? So it's actually, redirecting to Servlet, that is fine. Connection is fine, but insertion is not happening. One minute. Let me check this clearly. First index is name, second index is password, and CPass email country. Let me replace these names. N P C P So just I'm changing the names in case they make confusions with those related to the parameters I'm talking, because retrieval parameters also say okay. So this is EM. It's not EM, it is just E. Now it's a C. Right. So if any exceptions, then EX. And one more thing. So let's go to jars. and jars, MySQL connector jar. I'll copy and I'll paste. Sometimes this option also works. Okay, I'll paste inside lib folder. Fine. So now let's go to, yes. Sometimes this option, in the sense, in case if library files copied and pasted in lib folder, sometimes, it's not every time, it will work. Okay, so actually for this we have to pass, validation part, but for not validation, oh yes, now it is working. So you guys can see, right? So actually we can print the same information, to the browser as well. Let me write here. So for console I printed now. Same way I'm gonna print to what is it, to the browser. So browser p dot print record, right? Successfully. Okay. If you want, you can print number of records also with the I value. Okay, it is optional. Fine. So let's see now. Okay. So please try with the table tag, okay, for this registration page. So now name should be, I'll give you can, this is just for, it's fine. Okay. So you people can see here again, I know it says record inserted successful, and again, here it. And information get into this, database, and you can check. So hope you guys can see here, right? 2 records are inserted. And now along with this, okay, so let's try to access those. Okay, try to access those values. Let's create one more, class. I mean, solid class. This is for read record. Record. Okay, so I'm just taking the read record. Okay, so now let's go to fine. So now what I'll do, so what we have to do, as usual, so we have to load that, what is it? Class dot for name, com dot MySQL dot JDBC dot driver, right? So error, it says to unhandle exceptions. So let me take SQL exception. It's not accepting, then fine. Okay, then let's go with the try only. So here actually we can pass SQL. It's not SQL exception, actually class not found exception. So in simple, so here I'm passing, that's fine. Let's take class not found exception. See. So if any exception, it can handle that as well. See. Fine. So now let's get inside this. Okay. And right class, it's not class, connection, and its object was to driver manager dot get connection. Okay, so here as I said, three arguments we had to pass. That's string URL equals to JDBC colon MySQL colon / localhost. Okay, localhost colon 3306 / database name is DB. Okay, then string name equals to what is username? Username it is root, and what it is. And again, so we have to pass password equals to, again it is root. Okay, so let's go up. We'll try to import java dot SQL.start. So now the required errors are gone. So here we have to pass URL, name, password. So now SQL connection. Okay, SQL connection we have to. It's connection. SQL exception needs to be handled. So let's take one more, catch block. Catch. So this is SQL exception E. So here we can. This is optional. Still better to handle. Okay, E. Fine. And right, so connection is done. Let's do prepare statement. P equals to prepare statement. P equals to connection object, dot prepared statement. So here select start from what is the table it is? Registration. So now obviously if you want to retrieve any values from the database, we must need a result set. Am I right? So result set rs equals to and object of execute query. Okay, so now while the iteration, while result set object dot next. And now here, okay, so next after next, for iteration, what we need to know, system.out.println, what is it? Result set object dot get string and column index, it's 1. Okay. 1. Why does happen this? Okay, plus, and again, result set object dot get string, it's 2, I mean X number again, plus, result set object dot get string, X number is 3. So I'm just trying to pass index numbers. Okay. So even actually we can pass column names as well. The names which we have in database, like name, password, confirm password, those can be passed here. But this, double quotes, name, password, and what is this? Confirm password, and again plus result set dot result check dot one more we have, right? Get string confirm password, it's email. Email, and we have just one more, that is country. Actually, I'll just move this to the next line. Okay. So after this brace plus, and now again plus, so result set object dot get string, which is the last one, that is country. So this should be double quotes, within double quotes. Hope it's clear. So now let me write your system.out.println just to print records. Okay. Hope everything is perfect. Now let's run this. It's not printing records to the browser. We are going to print this to the console. Why this, this problem is, why this 404 error? Can someone guess? Not for error. Because we have not configured, right? So we are not provided configuration in web.xml. So let's go to this web.xml and right. So let me copy paste this. And so if we copy paste it, there will be a confusion. So fine. So Servlet, and here in this Servlet name. So what is that Servlet name? Read record. Okay. Read record. And Servlet class. So what is the class name? Dot servlet dot jdc dot and this redirect class name. Okay, so servlet configuration is done. Now it's for the mapping. Servlet mapping. Find in the servlet mapping. So servlet name. So servlet name I've already copied. So next is your pattern. So I'm just passing record. It's record. Okay, so everything is done now. Let me check. We're not printing to the browser. Actually, we can print to the browser as well by by using the print statement. Oh, it says registration does not exist. 1 minute. I guess I did the wrong name. Table name I passed, wrong. Column password is not found. It's password. Okay. See, actually, why this error is about. Let me close this. So it says that SQL exception is that column pass is not found. So let's go to my, printing, right? So here getting, so I'm calling pass instead of password. So it says this, column is not, so it should be password. These other things are fine. Right. So now let's go to run as and on server. Right. Click on OK. Hope it has to retrieve all the values. Okay. So we have, 2 records now. So it's retrieving and it's printing. Hope it is clear about inserting and reading. Same way we can delete and we can update as well. Any queries in this? Connecting database with the servlet? Any questions? No questions. Fine then. So this is actually work, on real-time applications. Okay. So basically, daily connection or connected in this way, to your view pages and the backend code. So we can say this is actually backend process. Fine then. So wind up because if I start another topic, it will take 30 more minutes. So we'll start that in the next session. Okay. Fine then. So we'll wind up the session. Thank you all.